All right, let's get right into it. Microsoft has just dropped a brand new certification, the AI Business Professional. And full disclosure, I'm actually studying to take the beta exam myself. So I've been living and breathing the study materials. And I figured, hey, let's crack open this AB-730 exam together and see exactly what it takes to pass. So first things first, the big question. Is this certification even for you? I mean, who is this for? Because this is not for coders or the super technical, hardcore developers. Microsoft has a very, very specific person in mind for this one. And if you dig into the official study guide, it becomes crystal clear. The AI business professional is someone who uses generative AI tools, think Microsoft 365 Copilot, to just get better at their day job. You know, if you're already comfortable in Outlook, Teams, and PowerPoint, and you want to use AI to be more productive, to make smarter decisions, well, this is for you. And the best part? All without writing a single line of code. So if that sounds like you, great. Let's get into the heart of it, the exam blueprint itself. What skills are they actually going to test you on? Let's decode it. Okay, now check this out, because the weighting here tells a really interesting story. The exam is split into three main areas, but look at that biggest slice of the pie. Up to 40% is manage prompts and conversations. That tells you right off the bat that your ability to talk to the AI, to communicate effectively, is the number one most important skill. The other two, understanding the basics and actually using the AI, they're important, but they're weighted almost equally. So let's break down that first section on the fundamentals. This is your foundation, right? You've got to know how Copilot works under the hood, how it keeps your data safe, and how it uses the context from your own files and emails to give you really sharp, relevant answers. And super important, you have to get the difference between a simple chat and a more complex agent experience. And of course, responsible AI practices are woven into everything. All right, now for the main event, managing prompts. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's all about the practical side of things. Can you write a prompt that gets you exactly what you want on the first try? Do you know how to manage your conversation history, like renaming, deleting, or saving important chats? And can you take it a step further, creating and setting up your own specialized agents? This is where you really show off those power user skills. And finally, that third section is all about application. I mean, it's one thing to have a great chat with an AI, but can you use it to actually get work done? This part of the exam is going to test your ability to generate entire documents, to summarize those ridiculously long reports, and to use AI to make meetings and collaboration way more efficient, especially with new tools like Copilot Pages, which is basically this dynamic AI-powered canvas for all your projects. Okay, so we've covered the skills in theory, but let's make it more concrete. What does this stuff actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look at the tools of the trade you're going to need to master. This is the magic behind Copilot. Seriously, it's not just sending your question out to some generic AI on the internet. First, you give it a prompt. Then, and this is the secret sauce, Copilot pre-processes it using something called grounding. It pulls in context from your stuff, your emails, your files, your meetings, through the Microsoft Graph. Then, that richer, way smarter prompt gets sent to the large language model. But before the answer ever gets back to you, it goes through a critical safety check for responsible AI and compliance. Only then do you get that final, relevant, and totally secure answer. A really key concept you have to nail down is the difference between a chat and an agent. Think of it like this. A chat is like having a conversation with a brainstorm partner. It's back and forth, it's exploratory. An agent, on the other hand, that's a specialist. It's designed to do one specific complex job from start to finish. It's the difference between a helpful colleague and a dedicated data scientist you've hired for a project. And speaking of data scientists, a perfect example of an agent is Analyst. I mean, this quote from its creators just says it all. It's built to think like a skilled data scientist, turning a messy pile of raw data into clear, actionable insights in just minutes. It's pretty incredible. The reason Analyst is so dang powerful is its reasoning process. It doesn't just guess at an answer. First, it makes sure it understands your goal. Then, it creates a step-by-step plan, figures out the right Python tools for the job, and then actually executes the code to find the answer. And here's the best part. You can actually look at this chain of thought to check its work, which is huge for building trust in the results. But it's not just about these high-end, specialized agents. The exam expects you to know how Copilot is woven into the apps you already use every single day. In Teams, it can summarize the first half of a meeting you joined late. In Outlook, it'll draft emails for you and help you manage your calendar. In Pages, it becomes that true collaborative partner on your project canvas. And yeah, in PowerPoint, it can build an entire presentation from just a single sentence. Now, running through absolutely all of these technical skills is a topic that is completely non-negotiable for this exam, and that's the principles of responsible AI. You're going to need to know Microsoft's 6 core principles inside and out. These guide every single thing they do with AI. We're talking about fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. And these aren't just buzzwords, they are the actual ethical framework you'll be expected to work within. And knowing the principles also means you've got to know the risks. The exam will definitely test your ability to spot and handle common problems. This includes things like fabrications, what you've probably heard called hallucinations, where the AI just makes stuff up, or prompt injection, where a bad actor tries to trick the AI. And then there are the human risks, right, like becoming over-reliant on it or accidentally leaking sensitive company data. Okay, so we've covered what's on the exam and why it all matters. Let's bring it all home with a clear, simple path to getting yourself certified. First, you need to know your target. Like a lot of Microsoft exams, the magic number is 700. You need a score of 700 or higher to pass. It's a clear goal to aim for as you're getting ready. So how do you get there? It's really a simple 3-step game plan. Number 1, start with the official study guide. It is the definitive map for everything we've just talked about. Number 2, and this is so critical, get hands-on. Theory is great, but this exam is all about real-world application, so start using Copilot in your daily work now. And finally, number 3, visit the exam sandbox on the Microsoft site. It's a free demo that lets you play with the exam interface so there are 0 surprises on test day. Because at the end of the day, passing this exam isn't really about getting a new badge for your LinkedIn profile. It's about fundamentally changing the way you work. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. Once you have these skills, how are you going to use AI to redefine what's possible in your job?